Listen carefully, because what I'm about to tell you is not a strategy you'll find in indicators. It's not something you can copy and paste into your trading platform, and it's definitely not what most gurus are teaching you online. But if you understand this, you'll start seeing the market differently, not as numbers, not as candles, but as behavior. And that's exactly how Jesse Livermore saw it. He wasn't just a trader, he was a reader of human emotion. Fear, greed, hope, regret. While everyone else was looking at charts, he was reading people. And that's why he made millions and lost them more than once. Because the truth is, the market doesn't reward intelligence, it rewards discipline. And that's where you're going wrong. You think your problem is strategy. You think you need a better indicator, a cleaner setup, a faster entry. But Livermore proves something brutal. It's not your entries that are killing you, it's your behavior. You see, most traders can actually spot good trades, but they can't hold them. They exit too early. They panic too fast. They overtrade when they shouldn't. And then they blame the market. But Livermore never blamed the market. He blamed himself. He once said, "The game taught me the game," meaning every loss was a lesson. But here's what most people don't understand about him. He didn't become successful because he was always right. He became successful because he knew when to sit still. That's the part nobody talks about. The waiting, the patience, the discipline to do nothing. In a world where everyone is chasing action, he mastered inaction, and that's uncomfortable. Because doing nothing feels like missing out. But in trading, doing nothing is often the best move. Livermore would wait days, weeks, sometimes months, for the perfect setup. And when it came, he didn't hesitate. He executed with confidence, not because he was sure, but because he was prepared. That's the difference. You're trading based on emotion. He traded based on alignment, alignment between market structure and human behavior. He didn't chase trades, he let trades come to him. Now think about your own trading. How many times have you entered out of boredom? How many times have you forced a setup that wasn't there? That's not strategy, that's emotion, and the market punishes emotion every single time. Livermore understood something most traders still ignore. The market is designed to fool the majority. It will look strong before it drops. It will look weak before it rises. And if you react emotionally, you become liquidity. That's why he focused on confirmation, not prediction. He didn't try to guess the market. He didn't try to guess the market to reveal itself. That's a completely different mindset, because prediction is ego, confirmation is discipline, and ego is expensive, very expensive. Livermore lost fortunes because of ego, because even he, at times, stopped following his own rules. And that's the real lesson. Not that he was perfect, but that the rules work only if you follow them. So ask yourself honestly, do you have rules? And more importantly, do you actually follow them? Because writing rules is easy. Following them, when money is on the line, that's where most traders fail. Livermore didn't just trade the market, he traded himself, his impulses, his fears, his greed. And once he mastered that, the market became easier, not predictable, but understandable. So if you feel stuck, if you feel like you're doing everything right, but still not getting results, then maybe the problem isn't your strategy. Maybe Jesse Livermore was right, and you're doing it wrong. Script 2 title: The Rule That Made Jesse Livermore Millions, Then Destroyed Him. There's a dangerous truth about trading. The same rule that can make you rich can also destroy you. And no one proves this better than Jesse Livermore. He was one of the greatest traders in history, a man who turned small money into millions more than once. But he also lost everything more than once. So what went wrong? Was it the market? Was it the market? Bad luck? Number. It was something far more dangerous, breaking his own rules. You see, Livermore had a simple philosophy: cut losses quickly, let profits run. Sounds basic, right? But almost no one actually does it, because it goes against human nature. When you're losing, you want to hold, you hope it comes back. You convince yourself it's just a small pullback. But small losses turn into big ones, and big ones destroy accounts. Livermore knew this. That's why he cut losses without hesitation. No emotion, no second guessing, just execution. But here's the twist: the same discipline that made him millions was also the hardest thing to maintain, because success creates confidence, and confidence can turn into overconfidence. That's when rules start breaking. And once that happens, the market takes everything back. Livermore experienced this cycle again and again. Win big, lose everything, start it again. And every time, the cause was the same, not the market himself, because trading is not about being right. It's about managing risk. And most traders ignore this. They focus on winning instead of surviving. Livermore focused on survival because he knew if you survive long enough, opportunities will come. But if you blow your account, the game is over. Now look at modern traders. They want fast profits, quick wins, instant results. But that mindset is dangerous because it leads to overtrading, revenge trading, and emotional decisions. Livermore avoided all of that. At least, when he followed his rules, he treated trading like a business, not a gamble. Every trade had a purpose, a plan, a limit, and once that limit was hit, he was out. No debate, no hesitation. That's the level of discipline required. But here's the harsh reality. Most traders don't want discipline, they want excitement, and the market gives them exactly that, until their account is gone. Livermore once said, "It was never my thinking that made the big money, it was my sitting." That one line can change everything, because it means the real money is made in patience, not action. But patience is boring, and that's why most traders fail. They confuse activity with progress. They think more trades equal more profit. But in reality, more trades often equal more mistakes. Livermore understood this deeply. He waited, and when the moment was right, he acted decisively. No fear, no doubt, just execute it. That's the difference between amateurs and professionals. Amateurs react, professionals wait, then act. So if you want to trade like Livermore, you need to understand this. It's not about learning more strategies. It's about mastering yourself, because the market doesn't beat you. You beat yourself. Every time you break your rules, every time you trade emotionally, every time you chase the market, you're repeating the same mistake, the one that even Jesse Livermore couldn't fully escape. And that's the lesson. The rule works, but only if you follow it. Script 3 title: Think like Jesse Livermore, or Stay Broke. Let me be brutally honest with you. If you think trading is about indicators, you've already lost, because the market doesn't care about your setup. It doesn't care about your strategy, and it definitely doesn't care about your opinion. The market moves based on one thing: human behavior. And that's exactly what Jesse Livermore understood better than anyone. He didn't rely on complex systems. He relied on observation. He watched how people reacted, how they panicked, how they chased, how they hesitated, and then he did the opposite. That's what made him different. While the crowd was emotional, he was calm. While the crowd was chasing, he was waiting. While the crowd was losing, he was winning. But this kind of thinking is not easy, because it requires you to go against your instincts. When the market is moving fast, your instinct is to jump in, but Livermore would step back. When everyone was buying, he would question it. When everyone was selling, he would look for strength. He didn't follow the crowd. He studied it, and that's a powerful shift. Because once you understand the crowd, you understand the market. Now here's the uncomfortable truth. You are the crowd. Your emotions, your reactions, your mistakes, they're not unique. They're predictable, and that's why the market keeps taking your money, because it knows how you think. But Livermore broke that pattern. He trained himself to think differently, to act differently, to control his impulses, and that's what made him dangerous. Not his strategy, his mindset. Because in trading, mindset is everything. You can have the best system in the world, but if you can't control yourself, you will lose. Every time. Livermore proved this with his own life. He had the knowledge, the experience, the skill. But when he lost discipline, he lost everything. That's how powerful psychology is. So if you want to succeed, you need to stop focusing on the market. and start focusing on yourself, your habits, your decisions, your discipline. Because that's where the real battle is, not on the chart, but in your mind. Livermore once said, "A man must believe in himself and his judgment, but belief without discipline is dangerous because it turns into arrogance, and arrogance is the fastest way to lose money." So balance is key. Confidence with control, patience with precision, discipline with consistency. That's how you think like Livermore, not by copying his trades, but by understanding his mindset. Because strategies change, markets evolve, but human behavior stays the same. And that's your edge, if you can master it. So the next time you open a chart, ask yourself this: am I reacting or am I thinking? Because that one question can change everything. Think like Jesse Livermore, or stay stuck doing exactly what everyone else is doing and getting exactly the same results. Listen it carefully, because what you're about to hear might challenge everything you believe about trading. You think your problem is strategy. You think you need a better indicator, a cleaner setup, a more accurate entry. But what if the real problem isn't your system? What if it's you? That's exactly what Jesse Livermore understood long before modern traders even existed. He wasn't just a trader, he was a student of human behavior. While others studied charts, he studied people. Because behind every candle, there's emotion. Fear when price drops, greed when price rises, hope when a losing trade lingers too long, and regret when it's too late. Livermore saw the market not as numbers, but as a psychological battlefield. And that's where most traders lose, not because they don't understand the market, but because they don't understand themselves. You see, the market is not designed to reward intelligence, it's designed to exploit weakness. And your biggest weakness is emotion. Think about it. Your last few trades. Did you enter because everything aligned, or because you felt like you might miss out? Did you exit because your plan said so, or because fear took control? Did you ever hold a losing trade, hoping it would come back? That's not strategy. That's emotion. And emotion is expensive. Livermore knew this better than anyone. He made millions, lost them, and made them again. But every time he lost, it came down to one thing: breaking his own rules. Because the truth is, knowing it. What to do is easy. Doing it consistently. That's where most traders fail. Livermore had rules, simple ones. Cut losses quickly. Let profits run. Trade with confirmation, not prediction. But those rules only worked when he followed them. And that's the part most people ignore. You can learn the best strategy in the world, but if you don't have discipline, it won't matter. Because in the moment, when money is on the line, logic disappears, emotion takes over, and suddenly, you're not trading it, your plan anymore, you're reacting. Livermore didn't react, he waited. That's what made him different. In a world where traders are constantly chasing the market, he mastered patience. He could sit still for days, weeks, even months, waiting for the perfect opportunity. And when it came, he didn't hesitate. He executed with confidence, not because he was certain, but because he was prepared. That's the difference between amateurs and professionals. Amateurs chase, professionals wait. Now here's it. The uncomfortable truth. Most traders don't actually want patience. They want action. They want fast results, quick profits, instant gratification. But the market doesn't reward that mindset. It punishes it, because every impulsive decision, every emotional trade adds up, slowly. Then suddenly, your account is gone. Livermore understood something most traders still don't. The market is designed to trick you. It will look strong before it drops. It will look weak before it rises. And if you react emotionally, you become part of the trap. That's why he focused on confirmation. He didn't try to predict the market. He let the market show its hand first, because prediction is based on opinion, but confirmation is based on evidence, and evidence removes emotion. Now ask yourself honestly, how often do you wait for confirmation? And how often do you jump in early because you think you're right? That's ego. And ego is one of the most dangerous things in trading, because the market, it doesn't care if you're right, it only cares if you're disciplined. Livermore learned this the hard way. Even after becoming one of the most successful traders of his time, he still lost everything, more than once. Not because he forgot how to trade, but because he stopped following his rules. Because success can be dangerous. It builds confidence, and confidence can turn into overconfidence. That's when discipline fades. That's when mistakes happen. And that's when the market takes everything back. So if even Jesse Livermore, a legend, struggled with discipline, what makes you think you can ignore it? This isn't about intelligence. It's not about finding the perfect strategy. It's about control. Control over your actions, your emotions, your decisions. Because in the end, you are your biggest risk, not the market, not the market, not volatility, not news, you. Livermore once said, "It was never my thinking that made the big money, it was my sitting." Think about that. Not thinking, not analyzing it, not predicting, sitting, waiting. That's where the real money is made. But waiting is hard because it feels like you're doing nothing. It feels like you're missing out. But in reality, you're protecting yourself from bad trades, from emotional decisions, from unnecessary losses, and that's what separates profitable traders from everyone else. So the next time you open a chart, don't ask, "What trade can I take?" Ask, "Should I even be trading right now?" Because sometimes the best trade is no trade at all. And that's the lesson. The one most traders ignore, the one that never changes, the one that Jesse Livermore understood better than anyone. He was right. And if you're still trading based on emotion, chasing the market, ignoring your rules, then the truth is simple. You're doing it wrong. If you want, I can now